it's Stream from where the yolk's grown. As you can see, I am sitting in the garden in the front yard for this early fall garden tour of September 2022. The life has returned back to this garden, and I am so internally thankful for that because my mental health is going to be doing much better. This is also our 150th video on this channel, and I cannot believe that since January of 2022 I have actually managed to do 150 videos. As you can see, the channel is evolving and changing, and my love of decorating is coming out, and you soon will see the love of decorating in this garden, and we'll talk about that further at the end of the video, so stay tuned for a little announcement that's coming about the garden. But let's get touring this garden and let's see all this life that has returned. Okay, I wanted to get out here early in the morning and show you what the garden looks like. We're getting ready to harvest a bunch of basil and a lot of the herbs, so I wanted to show you what it looks like and tell you everything that's been planted and growing in the garden. We have kohlrabi in this large 20-gallon grow bag, and then look at the cannas. Don't they look beautiful? And I'll tell you a funny little story since we're looking at those cannas and walking through this garden. Here is one of our cucumbers. It's doing just fine, just has yet to produce any girl flowers, unlike the other one who has got more girl flowers than boy flowers. But one of the things that's happening around the house is my husband says we're pepper rich. You know, people say they're tomato rich or pepper rich. The green beans are doing really good. This pumpkin probably won't produce a pumpkin before we get our frost, but we'll see. But everything is looking beautiful. So here's where the fall decorations outside are beginning. I still have the up front to do, but we've already planted up this whole container right here in front of you. And then we have a goddess green, I think it's called a cauliflower. Yeah, goddess green cauliflower planted in here. And then you can see I had these pepper bags all along here, and my intention was to move this pepper bag, but when I went to go pull it up, she had already rooted into the ground. So to save her, I just decided to, you know, not move her. In the back here, we have rutabaga and of course rainbow chard, and we have 2 of the flame star, which is the yellow cauliflower, and 2 of the Italian Sicily purple ones. So there's a yellow one here and a purple one there, a yellow one there, and a purple one right there. And then of course the rainbow chard is in front. Back out and let you see how beautiful it is. Now back to the flowers. Now these flowers here, and then the ones you just saw over there, I bought those at Callaway's and we planted them here. But all the flowers that I started from seed that have come back have all come back pink. And what's funny about that story is I hate pink. Pink is not one of my favorite colors. So we have some peas we just planted up yesterday in this container, and it's going to move to the back. My poor pitiful strawberry calendula and black-eyed Susan just do not look good. We have another goddess, a green goddess cauliflower here, and of course look at all those carrots. So this was my potato bed, and obviously I missed some potatoes. That's clear. Asparagus is doing great, and like I said, we are pepper rich. Got them everywhere. And these are those Italian cherry peppers, those ones that you see in the store, you know, that have the cheese stuffed in them. You see them in the jar. These are hatch chilies. We've been starting to get hatch chilies. I'll show you one up close here in just a minute. We planted up some more sweet peppers right here. And these are our tomatoes that we planted over the summer. They're just starting to, well, they're not being smothered by this heat, so they're just starting to really take off and start to flower. Lavender's coming back beautifully. Coneflower that I planted. And our green beans, we have a couple, well, they're not green beans, I'm sorry. These are purple pole beans is what's growing up the trellis right here. Like I said, tomatoes are just starting to kind of take off and flower. And then we have kohlrabi planted in between them. Hopefully that doesn't come back to bite me in the butt. We'll just have to see. So these are the hatch chilies. I've got one here I got to harvest. You can see right here. I try not to pull my stuff off. So there it is. That's one of the hatch chilies. It's ready to go. And you can see got many more coming. We got one back here as I get chewed up by mosquitoes. And then we have, I have to think about what these are. I believe these are early girl cabbages. I don't see their markers, but I'm thinking that they're early girl cabbages. And then if you remember right, up front here we had planted turnip seeds late in the summer. Well, of those, only 2 of them survived, and I've got one right here and I've got one right there. So they're now coming up. And you can see how beautiful all those flowers are. And these are all the zinnias that have survived, that made it through. And I'm getting ready to harvest. We're gonna walk back up around front, and I'll show you as I trip over everything. Sorry for the fast movement. So you can see I've got all this basil right here, and there's some basil right here, and there's a whole bunch over here that I gotta get. But yesterday I found the biggest hornworm I've ever seen, and he did a little bit of damage before I got a hold of him. He must have been like that long and probably that big around. It was huge. See, even the cosmos are pink. These are the only ones that made it. I planted all colors, and the ones that make it are the pink ones. Look, pink zinnias. Lots of pink zinnias. And then in this bed is where I have my cauliflower and my broccoli. I also have some chamomile planted in there, and I'm going to plant a dill that I just bought right there. I found out that if you plant chamomile and dill is supposed to repel those white, the white butterflies that lay the cabbage worms. And I have to tell you, this dill's been sitting in here, and you can see none of them have chew marks like they did over there on the other one. So I might get some more dill to put over there. And then the chamomile, of course, the chamomile is supposed to feed it, gosh, what did it say? I'll have to look it up, and then I'll put it up on the screen what it says chamomile does when you plant them with your cauliflower. I just read the article. You can see I have some more basil right here that I have to get. Okay, so I want to stop and pause because there is always a lot of discussion around Dollar Tree growing stacks and green stock growing stacks, and how I cannot count on my hand how many times I've heard different people say you cannot grow large plants in these because they just don't have the root space. And I think when people look at that cell, that little tiny cell right here, you see only this, and you think only the root space is going to stay in there. There is a whole part back here where those roots can move backwards, and once they move backwards, they just take a hold. And you know, this is a Dollar Tree stack. I bought, what was it, 40 of these for $40. So I bought them offline. And you can see they're not very big. And both of them have tomatoes, hot peppers, and bell peppers, and herbs all growing in them right now. And you can see they are growing just fine. Here's one of the big tomatoes. This is, I believe, a homestead tomato. And then if you look right here, it starts right about there, and we're gonna come all the way up. This is another homestead tomato, and it's coming from one of the bottom shoots down there. Is a, what is it, a 100, what are they called, cherry 100s? Right there, coming up. Then I have, these are Serrano peppers, and you can see there's peppers all over them. This is a basil. Now this is a basil called Pesto Basil, and it's from, what are they called? Proven Winners. And I bought the seeds, and that's how they came. So I'm gonna walk around here because I want to show you these other ones. Now, these are weeds, and that are all sweet potato vines. And then of course these zinnias that you all see right here are planted down below in one of these little cells of this garden stock. Tomato, which is another sweet 100 coming up, is also planted down there in one of those cells. And you can see she's over here, she's over there, and I've got to get in here. We've got this vine coming in, but I got to get in here and kind of weed everything out. Here's more of those Serrano peppers. This is more of that basil. There's a bit of a jungle back there, guys. These are more Serranos. They're all growing in this Dollar Tree, and I believe this is jalapeno right here. Now this one's having a little problem, but it's not because of where it's growing in, because the other ones are growing just fine. This is a bell pepper, and this is another one that got chewed. My husband ran into it with the weed eater when he was out here. Not with the weed eater, but he was weed eating and he ran into it and broke it. But anyways, another sweet potato. Planted all that up together, and y'all, these are called Cardinal Basil. And you can see this is growing in one of these cells. It's coming from right over there. But you can see she's massive. And she should, here pretty soon, start to throw these shoots straight up, and they're gonna look like shoots of kind of like hair. They're really pretty burgundy. They're just as burgundy as her vines are. That should be happening here pretty soon. Jalapenos growing All those are jalapenos. You can see all of them on there if you look closely. Another Cardinal Basil. And we just recently cleaned this back out because that vine, and you can see I got to get back there and take care of it, but this vine kind of started taking over and smothering everything out. Down here we have kohlrabi and green beans, hatch chilies, green beans, just random flowers. Look at all the shishitos. Told you we're pepper rich. And this is just the front yard. We'll go to the backyard later. You can see we have bell peppers there. It's another view of those flowers. But I just wanted to come out here and do this tour real quick before I harvest all of these basils so you could see just how beautiful they are. This one right here is a sweet basil. The one right there in the corner that you see over there, that is another one of the proven winners, Pesto Basils. That's why the leaves are just massive on that thing. So we'll be doing some food preservation here really soon, and we're going to move up to the front and then down the side and into the back. Whoops, sorry for the movement of the camera. We are in the backyard. Let me show you. Here is our herb green stock. Like the basil up front, we're getting ready to harvest that. We have some mums that we've planted out here, and I wanted to show you this. This is our lime and lemon tree. Those have been up potted and we're starting to get limes. But the one thing I wanted to show you the most of, you see this little fig tree here and that little fig tree over there? I took that out of the Home Depot trash can. They were gonna throw it away. So I thought, well, if you're just gonna throw it away, then I'm just gonna take it. And they didn't argue with me. So that's how I got those two fig trees. Of course, my girls are now free ranging a couple of hours a day. Their time is almost up out here. We do it in the morning. So the hours are cooler. Not that our weather is hot, but I see a couple of them got in one of my beets and dug up some things. They're being little ornery turds. This is Raptor, for those of you who don't remember. See, she even knows her name. And this little stinker over here who's being bad is Ostara, and this was a bag full of beet. These are our bags full of beets. I don't care that they picked at that. I have no idea what that was. I didn't plant it. But we got bags of beets going. Apple tree that got hit by the spider mites. Just forgive the mess back there. We had a lot going on back here. And I do not remember the name of this, but my mother-in-law has this planted in her front yard. Gets these beautiful orange and yellow flowers on it. My husband had to have one, and so we got one. So there's another look at the tower that has all the herbs. It's also got some green beans growing in it and some lettuce growing in it as well. So here is where the hole was, that if you saw the post on the community post where I posted the pictures, this is where the hole was. It was the main sewer line of the house that runs the sewer from the house out to wherever the sewage goes. But it was a huge break and it took a minute to fix it. But it's back, we're covered up, we got some cement to pour. As you can see where they had to bust out the cement right here in order to get to it, but we got that growing back. These are these two right here on the end are two of the San Marzano original tomatoes that I had planted in here. I had cut them down at the base and they started growing again after all the spider mites were gone. And then these are the two new Roma tomatoes that I bought. We'll see where it goes, but I wanted to show you. Look down here. You see that right there? You see that right there? Those will be elephant garlic. I also planted some of my, I think they're called opal basil. They eventually are supposed to be black, but I don't know. None of mine have ever turned black. So, and of course, this is our celery bed that we planted together not too long ago. And you can see the turnips are growing pretty fast. Sorry for the sun. You can see that the turnips are growing pretty fast and everything's doing pretty well. Finally rescued the strawberries out from underneath the passion vine over in Joey's garden. So we're gonna get all this cleaned up. We're actually gonna pull those out and then put some fresh dirt in there, replant them, because they're doing fairly well. This tomato and that tomato are from the original tomatoes that we had here that I cut off as well, and well, here they are. So over in this garden we have some carrots. We lost a couple of tomatoes. This was one of the original ones. I'm sorry, this one and the middle one were two of the original ones. The one in the back it just wasn't growing, and then hornworms got on it and basically just ate it to death, so I just got rid of it. I do have, what is it I planted in the Kohlrabi, I think is what I planted in this bag. One of the tomatoes, this is the Husky cherry tomato, and it's just started to really grow and do really well. Of course, the passion vine, you know, she is a bit out of control. Oh, this red butterflies. You see those red butterflies? They're beautiful, aren't they? They also, I'll see if I can find some of them. They also have some of the most, why, they're not aggressive, but God, they are destructive caterpillars. And I'll show them to you here in just a minute. We also got a monarch in there. I don't know if you can see her fluttering around back there. But this is the garden. The peppers really didn't produce. So we've started fall planting in the back just a little bit. And then here is that razzmatazz grape. She's kind of taken over her spot. And then the other new thing that's happened is, now that the weather has cooled down, our hibiscus has started to bloom again. And yep, it's another pink flower. Now, I didn't pick this one. This was my husband's pick, but still, pink. It's just crazy. Plum trees are doing okay. Nothing really new to report there. Okay, let's move over to Joey's garden now. I'll show you these caterpillars. Can y'all see her right there on the flower? Oh, she flew away. All right, let's move over here. This is also one of the they're beautiful butterflies. This is also one of our original homestead tomatoes. It's producing and putting on fruit. Let me show you. So we have, if they're caterpillars, we'll leave them alone. Let me show you what passion fruit on the vine looks like as it starts to grow. I found these yesterday and I thought, oh gosh, please don't eat them. But we have several of them. That's not the only one. And then of course, for those of you who don't know what a passion flower looks like, look at how pretty she is. So I'm gonna try and get in close to her. She seems pretty friendly, but I'm gonna show you what her caterpillars, her babies, do. Another one. Where is the, oh, here they are. There's their caterpillars. Aren't those great? Well, let me move this way. So anyways, they eat the flowers, and y'all, this thing is huge. I can share. Oh, she's gonna dance for us. I can share with her. I don't mind, because, you know, it gives more butterflies. And yeah, this part of her is destructive, while that part of her pollinates all these flowers and gives us more fruit. So let me know down in the comments, y'all. I don't grow roses, and so I've got something going on with this rose. Obviously it's some kind of fungus, but if you know what it is, tell me down in the comment, what should I do to prevent this from going any further. All right, let's get over to Joey's sensory garden. Here's one of the other strawberry towers. Before we move forward, I just wanted to show you. I'm thinking I'm going to combine all the strawberries together just to kind of, oh look what I got. She's following me, and she thinks that she's gonna nest there, and you are not. And I'll tell you why she's not gonna nest over here, because I have Kajari melon, and you are not to be over here, ma'am. What a turd. Okay, let's start here. We'll go show you the melons. Not much has changed. The tree's bouncing back from being burnt to death. And then I have left these pitiful sunflowers for the butterflies. And then let me show you guys. Look at that. I got one right there, and I got a baby one right there. And that's what I'm trying to prevent her from coming and finding. Raspberries look pitiful. I fed them, and I've been keeping them watered really well to try and get them to bounce back. And they are. But between the spider mites and the heat, you know, we almost lost them. So they've been fed, doing it about every 2 weeks. And since doing that, they've really started to kind of start putting on greenery. And here she comes. Oh, here comes Miss Thing. This is Paisley, y'all. This is my most adventurous, my most curious, and also the most lovable. She loves to be petted and snuggled and cuddled. This one right here. She also follows me around. So I've got to keep an eye on her while I'm over here. So not much else has changed. Blackberries bouncing back. We're getting ready to plant some peas. Yeah, I see you, ma'am. Yeah, you want to say hi to everybody? Nope, you're going the wrong way, ma'am. Oh, she's such a turd. All right, I gotta shut the camera off and get her. Okay, here is the pepper garden. As you can see, it is crazy full of peppers. Like I said, we're pepper rich. So, sounds like one of my neighbors is cutting the tree. Blackberry has bounced back really good. I'm getting ready to plant peas along here to replace the tomatillas. They did really well. We got a few tomatillas off of them, but when the tree came down and all the stuff was kind of swinging towards the house, I just took the rest of them out. Got a couple of strawberries in these towers that I got to get out to rescue to be put part of the other ones. But in here we have Gypsy Peppers, we have black bell peppers, we have poblano peppers, which is what this, no. Where are the poblanos? Oh, there they are. There's the poblano peppers. Sorry for the shadows. And then we're gonna be harvesting this lemongrass pretty soon as well. I've got another one up front that we'll be taking in. We're gonna move up front to the last part of the garden, which is out this gate, and we'll show you everything that's going on out there. Okay, y'all, we made it to the front. I'm gonna try and get this done as fast as I can right here, because as you can hear, they're mowing. This is a cucumber that we planted from seed over this summer, and as you can see, it is finally starting to grow cucumbers. We have some cabbages to plant right here, and then I've got another one right here. I'm gonna walk around to the front real quick. We have peas that we just planted there. And then we have started replanting our window boxes. We've already got our, sorry about that, my camera died. I had to switch batteries real quick. But we've just started replanting our boxes. We're still gonna leave these black and purple potato vines. Trim some of those caladiums, not cannas, caladiums up. But we've gotten this planted. It's looking really sweet and cute, and then we've already done that one, but let me show you this green stalk. This is the back. Remember how I said we were pepper rich? Oh my goodness, and this is the front. Look at that. So mostly it's peppers. So Tabasco peppers, Thai peppers, basil. I think there might even be a bell pepper in there. And then there was a tomato that had survived, but it looks like it's dying back. So probably won't make it. But we have early wonder beets in here. And then of course, our flowers. And this is one of our eggplants, and our eggplants have finally started to produce. So we got one big one on here. Right there, Malabar spinach. She's kind of waning a little bit, but she's starting to bloom, so she's gonna fit right in. Another big flower container. And then of course, we always like to integrate, like you can see, we have food here, flowers in the back, and then we have cabbage. This is a purple headed cabbage, and we have tansy that's coming back right here. And then of course, all of the peppers. But let me show you the very front where it got hit by all the trees that by all the branches when they cut the tree. But we're gonna look at the front garden now where all the tree branches fell. So again, in here we have flowers, plants, and food growing in the same beds, because we like to integrate our food with our planting, especially in the fall, because so much stuff that grows in the fall is so beautiful. Artichoke is about to come up in bloom. And then these white flowers that you see are all the garlic chives that have bloomed. And we honestly didn't think they were going to bloom after they got pretty tore up. And then our American berry, sorry y'all, I'm getting ate up by mosquitoes. Our American berry that got broke down the middle, and we actually thought we lost her. Our sweet little apple tree, who's now getting attacked by this vine again. This got broken and we thought it killed it. Nope, it was just like sitting marigold grow to it. And it's doing really good. Then we have lavender that's growing right here. And then of course, the big elephant ears. Let's move around to the front. So we got it all cleaned up. Everything's doing really well. This eggplant now has 3 little eggplants on it. So I'm happy to see, you know, that starting finally. And it looks like it's getting a 4th one, right? But we still have a little bit of planting to do, but for the most part, we are done. So as you can see, a lot of life has come back to the garden, and I am truly thankful for all the beauty that's coming with it. And I cannot wait to decorate this garden for Halloween and haunt it up and show it all to you. We plan to have a nighttime haunting garden tour coming in October of 2022, and I am so excited to share that with you. Of course, that'll be close to the end of the month because I can't put out, you know, I live in an urban neighborhood, and so if I put out a lot of stuff, unfortunately it has sticky fingers and it disappears. So we don't put it out, so it'll be a late October garden haunted tour, and I cannot wait to get it done for you. Thanks for hanging out with me in this video. Until I see you in the next video, you all take care of yourself, you keep your heads up, and no matter how you do it, you keep growing. Bye-bye, y'all.